Okay, so we're going to go into some posture training, and posture comes from, posture comes from a very important place, and you need to understand it, right? You don't know what you don't know, and posture is where you can be a better communicator or not as good of a communicator, depending on how strong your posture is. And posture comes from solid beliefs, first and foremost. Then it comes from word use, and then it comes from acknowledging one of the best skills ever, and that is listen. The power to listen, and then also utilizing the power of a pause. So I'm gonna cover this, and this is I'm gonna make it focus on how we represent ourselves for new students, primarily, so I have a focus point. But posture will help you in every aspect of life: parenting, co-parenting, working with anybody in a business situation, and it's something that becomes a habit and a I guess, a charisma point of who you are and how you are seen with others and how you approach others. It's a very, it's something that we should work on. It's definitely, if it was a muscle group, it would be one of the top muscles to work on. And in this sense, it's just on how we communicate. It's a communication skill, a communication muscle, we'll call it. So foundations of posture are going to come from your own belief in who you are and what you're capable of doing and what you're talking about. So when it comes to like RRR247 and instructing students or bringing on new students, your belief in how good you are as an instructor is going to play part in how your posture is formed. Your belief in how valid what we do is for a new student is going to play a part in how valid you are in representing this. So if you're not conveying, which is convicted belief that what we have is real, your posture is going to come across weak naturally. It's going to be really hard to cover it up. Truth is the best posture. Leading with truth is the only way I ever do it, because you can't fake truth. And if you're faking, it just breaks down everything. Someone will see through it. Even if you have a good message, if you are faking your confidence behind it in any aspect, it'll come across in your posture, and you just got to fix it. Either change your belief, do something to make sure you feel good about it. I obviously know what we do works. I obviously believe in everything that I'm capable of doing it with sharing with others. Therefore, my posture is strong naturally. Then it comes to the next point of posture, which is word usage. There are so many words in the English dictionary that mean the same thing. We can say the same thing so many different ways, which is an asset to us as a blogger, but it's also, it can confuse our habits of communication. We can, some of us will be soft-spoken in our word use, and we leave room for argument or debate or a doorway back and forth on a topic we're talking about. Those are dangerous words for us. They're dangerous for posture. They weaken our presentation. And the best way to learn what those are, I actually block them out of my vocabulary. Words such as can't, don't. There's certain words I just don't use. Unless I guess I just use it there, but you don't want to use them in a conversation. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I see, Dean, I'm working this out. But when I talk to people, I don't leave a door. I don't ask them something that I don't already know where the answer should be. And I don't ask them something I don't know what the answer is going to be either. You're almost like leading questions. I'm going to put something up really quick. Give me just a second. I'm going to put it up in our shared headlines and ads training. I'm going to put it there, but bear with me a second. I have a treat for you guys today. I'm going to date this. All right, so I'm going to share my screen really quick. In the headlines and ads training shared document center you guys should all have access to, there's a BRT posture training right there. And I need to clean up something on here really quick. I'll clarify. I've been building this stuff out to train more on the team on what we do. So in working the BRT, I created this document. It's here under BRT posture. Some of you are really good on your BRTs, and if you feel like you're doing a really good job and you got a good thing down, fantastic. These are just different directions that I use to communicate and cover those points of conversation. Remember, 3 points of conversation is a minimum. 4 is best, or 4 is better, 5 is best, as we like to go over it. I established 5 points of communication. There we go. 3 is minimum, 4 is better, 5 is best. More than 5 is even, great. And it's the most important part of what we do when we talk to somebody. And this is all comes down to posture too, but these are the different questions and ideal the word usage that I like to use is in here. So this is a good reference point. Okay. Now everybody has access to that. You guys can go through this on your own time, adapt to it. It's just got different things to how to say it, how to structure it. Right. And I was really good to put down different information that I look for that tries to drive those points of communication so that I can make a connection with that person. And really, that there's something with the BRT that makes a lot of sense for me. And it's this. I actually genuinely care about that person. I want to know what they're like. I genuinely want to know. I like to know people. I really like to. So I'm very focused in on that. And I just want to meet as many people that I can in this wonderful world. And so that comes across. And if you don't genuinely care, it's really hard to do a proper BRT. Your conviction's not there. Okay. So that's part of your posture. Now, the difference with posture and being strong or weak is people tend not to like a weak posture. They want to be led. And you guys got to remember our roles as instructors is to guide them into a way where they can create time and financial freedom using the vehicle we have, which is the performance blogging system and the RRR247 community that allows us to teach, grow, and add opportunity upon opportunity upon opportunity. Being convicted that that's a real path is very critical to your representing it, right? If you don't believe this is working, you're not gonna succeed very well with a strong posture because your own belief is weak. You need to know it works. And you need to be gratifying that it works and put it out, it's a gratification to the universe and to God too, that we have a vehicle to do this and we're so happy to share it with you. But we want to get to know them and listening to them and guiding them down questions to get to know them, that's posture as well. You don't want to have a loose question. You want to have a direct question, right? And I might send them down a couple of different paths. So I always start off with, are you looking, obviously they came into our ads. We know that they came in looking for a way to make money posting ads online. That's what we lead with. You don't need to change it up. You don't need to add like you're looking for a way to make money online. No, you came to make money online posting ads. Keep it simple. That's what they all went through. They went through a complete, you guys know, because almost everybody here came in through that model. This looks like a great thing I can do. I can work online posting ads, right? We don't go into all the blogging. It's too much to explain. So we based on the ad. We wanted somebody that was wanting to post ads to earn an income. If they're ready to do that basic step, we can teach them more from there, right? And that's why we lead with that. So when we're talking to a new student that's come in, they've paid for information, we ask them a question, right? Are you looking to supplement, replace, or just learn about the internet, right? Are you looking to supplement your income, replace your income? You're just looking to see how this internet thing works, and then be quiet, let them talk. Some want to just replace, some want to just supplement, some want both. They want to, they'll tell you what they want to do, and that gives you a really good understanding of what they're looking for. And then we establish what their why is, and all posture related. Define the questions you're asking them, and you're keeping copious notes, right? Now, everybody knows this process, or you guys should be learning this process. Here's what I want to add to becoming a better instructor, a better presenter, a better communicator. If you do a BRT and they don't see the value, they don't jump right on board, they don't show interest, they want to do it, a lot of us beat ourselves up. And what I want you to do is reflect on what you asked and what questions and the words you used to do it. You might want to write them down too, because the word usage, you might have shown a soft posture where they're kind of like, oh, I really need something that can work. I really can't afford to waste time. I'm already behind. They need someone strong. And you might have represented yourself weaker because you were soft on what you said. You didn't mean to be soft, but the words you used were soft. These are little things that we can tweak and make better. We're on a journey to learn. It's okay, right? And if we can adapt based on what we said. So if you have something that is, if you feel like no one's biting, something you're saying probably is soft in your word usage posture and also your conveyance posture. Posture is more than one element. So you write it down so you can depict what it is. I record some of mine just so I can listen to what I say. I've been doing this for years, and I got better and better and better. And I find, you guys will see that I adapt my word usage based on experience. Sometimes I can say something and like everybody goes with it because the words and my posture, my word posture and my stance, my conveyance are so strong, it's hard to say no to it. They can feel it. It's a couple things paired together, right? Confidence and my posture that I know what I'm doing works, my conveyance, and then the word usage together, that's a strong combination that works and it leads. You want to be leading. If you're on a conversation and you're being led and you're trying to get them to do something, you will lose every time because you're showing weakness. They're going to have to really, really want to do it and really understand it, which they're not. There's too much to understand. This is what we can adapt to make things better. It's all in the posture. But posture, a lot of people think posture is just confidence. It's more than just confidence. It's conveyance, but a belief behind it, sure. I mean, no one here is going to represent something they don't believe in. No one here is going to do that. But you need to know that you believe it, and then you need to use words that show that you believe it. And when you represent it, it needs to be really strong. Because saying the wrong thing, even with the right intention, is going to be a weak posture. And you may not know what it is, but if you start seeing a pattern where people aren't jumping on, write down what you're saying. Let's get together with your MSI, or they can bring it up to me or whatever it is. Let's fix what we're saying. The word usage is amazing. There's different ways to say things. And I was going to go into an example, but purposely in my life, I blocked out the things that are bad as far as posture because I don't like weak tones. I do everything in life with purpose. I think everybody should. A purposeful life means you have a strong posture in everything you do. You can ask my kids. Does Rory ever come across weak in anything he asks for? They know exactly where I stand when I talk. Everybody does. I live the life like that. I learned to do that, and I fine-tuned it as I went, and I found that life was a lot easier. When I go into a restaurant or I go into a store, I go and ask for something, people generally give me what I ask for because my posture is I've been perfecting it, right? It's progressing better and better all the time. And having that posture in everything aspect of life tends to mean you're going to get what you want because your communication gets across. And generally, people want to help you and give you what you want when it makes sense. And if you're giving them the right tones and posture, it's easier just to make you happy than to try to challenge it. especially an employee at a store. Like they'll tell other people no, and I come out there and it's like, you know what? I don't want to risk with this guy. This guy is just way strong, and I'm just going to give him what he wants. That's really how it happens. I also know I deserve it, and if I'm not going to ask for something I don't think I should get, right? And so it works that way too, right? But that is the same thing you're going to be in any conversation. People that understand marketing and presenting and the communication path tend to have a very great life around them because they can control things with tone, right? And you learn tonology, and that's something we're going to focus on at these leadership retreats, because I can't really do it very well even on here. I've tried. It's face to face to get people to really truly understand it, and that'll change things tremendously. We're all vibrations of sound. Tuning into the right tone of those sounds gets people to really understand the communication at a different level than verbal, spoken. It's a vibration understanding. It's a vibration language. We're going to cover that individual at the leadership retreat. So I'll be spending a lot of time on that in Waikiki, for instance. So posture, again, I'm going to break it down like a broken record, like everything. It's your own conveyance in what you're representing and talking about. It's your own belief you're conveying. And then it's also your word tone and your usage to guide them through there. If you're hemming and hawing, if you're not sure of what you're saying, it comes across that you aren't really ready to represent it to them. And they might not be saying no to the opportunity. They're going to be saying no to you helping them because they don't feel like you're strong enough to give them what they need. They're not going to say those words. That's what their actions are going to prove out. And that's what their subconscious is saying too. Instinctually, we know when people have their stuff together. We want to work with somebody that has their stuff together. So how do you get your stuff together as you get going? This is the hardest thing, and I'm going to answer it. You just got to do it. You guys, we're not dealing with brain surgery or heart transplants or anything that's life or death. If you have to do 1 million BRTs to get your posture up, so be it. Right? The right person might come in anyway, and they might come in the next person that comes in as we keep retouching them. The worst thing you can do is absolutely nothing. The best thing you can do is just perfect it and write down what you're saying. And let's find out what you're saying that's weak on posture, and then work on those attributes, right? I can tell you this. When you get Google AdSense, things magically get postured better for you. You're like, I got it. Okay, I see where this is going. And when those little tickers start kicking in every day, you get stronger about it. You see it working. When you see your wine business growing, you see your Velveeta business growing, you see the crypto watch business growing, anything that's growing with us, your belief in this working becomes stronger. If you're starting out, you just got to keep going until it falls into place. But there's things that we can help you work on. Your word use, absolutely. That document that I just shared with everybody, if you verbatim read those out that way, those words are written in a very strong posture. They could have been stronger, but they're strong enough to get people to go there. I actually don't believe in too strong a posture. Let me say it again. I don't believe that you can go too strong, but you can be hoarse, you can be harsh, and being too blunt sets most people off. However, some people, when you can read a person and read their personality, they need blunt. And if you can shift to that, and that's all advanced understanding of this. Those are things we're going to cross and cover together and go into it. You can never have too strong of a posture, but you can have too strong a communication with the wrong personality of a person you're talking to. And so everything I put in there is something that I feel good with about any level of a personality. And then I adjust. And that's why there are no two BRTs for me are the same, because I understand how to read a person's personality, and I can classify them as what communication form is best for them. And the reason why I can do that is why? Because I've done so many of these. I've dealt with so many different people and personalities, and I studied it, and I put patterns together, and I isolated what works for me and my tones and everything. It's practice. So if you're struggling, it's okay. It's like riding a bike. You just get on the bike and just start taking off. You can balance, flip around, stop, turn, pop on a curb. No, you got to learn all that. Same thing with this. Some never learned to pop on a curb. Like my sister, she never could, ever. She tried, it just never, I couldn't, I felt bad. But anyway, all those things, learning, it just comes that way. This gets, it gets more and more refined as you get going. And you're going to hear, you'll hear Niall talk, you'll hear me talk. I mean, I heard Dina on the line on the other day, and she's grown a ton. So a ton. Like, her posture's strong. She's presenting things properly. She's leading, and that's why her success is boom, boom, boom. She's figuring out, if I say this and guide this way, and her belief's gone up too. Dina's, that's probably fair to say, right? I'm gonna pick on Dina. I'm gonna have you unmute for a second. You guys, this is a absolute true model of consistent results right here. And you guys, she has those days where nothing goes her way. Everything seems like she's hitting a wall, and she's doing the same thing she did before, and then she has those days where it reaps up. Nobody's going to have perfection all the time, because it's two-sided. It's us and the person on the other line and things that are going on around them, right? We can just perfect our game or progress our game, but Dina, you're starting to see like expected results. Like, you pretty much are starting to get where you expect everybody you talk to get into the PBS, right?
Right.
And then you expect every one of them when you do the flow to go into wine now.
I do.
That's where you should be, but it took you a while to get there.
Yep. I didn't believe in myself, and I didn't perfect my posture. My posture has really grown in the last 6 months, big time.
Guys, that's the way it goes, right? I was born with a silver tongue, but I didn't come out to where I could handle every objection yet. I had to learn from other people. And by the time I was a teenager, if someone told me no, people were like shocked, because I'd done so many. But what you didn't know was I was on the phone 300, 400 calls a day. I was talking to everybody I possibly could just to sell a particular product, telco products. And I would refine how it presented, how it went through. And once I got it to dialed in where if I said this, almost everybody bought in, and then I refined it. I didn't just go at bat and do all that. And you guys, that was several decades ago. And I've been doing the same thing ever since. So of course I'm better and refined now, and I better be. I'd be worried if I wasn't. But watching the progression go on with here, and Dina, you've got an incredible MSI that helped teach you all this, right?
Yes, absolutely.
See, that's why leadership is so important. So that's part of your posture too, is you're not by yourself. You got an amazing family behind you, right? Everybody here is connected to an MSI, and an MSI has been trained on how to do all this stuff. They're exploring on that, and we're progressing. That's why we have a structure. It's all part of what's necessary to have an infrastructure to allow posture and communication to help us grow and educate. Now, that being said, we're doing these trainings here. I'm going to be covering it more. But everybody, if you're showing up here, you have a need and a desire to win here. That's awesome. So I want to make sure you guys have the tools to do that. But the best way to learn is to do it. Just do it. Send out those texts, make those phone calls, get on the phone. It's A, B, C, D. A is the hardest part, getting them on the phone. Getting a student lead on the phone is the hardest part. This is why I like V-marketing being done to help our instructors to feed. So if our students are just doing V-marketing, those leads, they don't cost as much, and they're still looking. Those people are looking for an opportunity, okay? Now, we're rolling out the new version of all the marketing with Grapevine that's going to help every one of those positive responders in V-marketing become a bigger prospect for us. We're changing the game in multiple ways, right? The programming is literally done. It's running on the wine aspect already. We're seeing some results for customers out of it. I'm watching the overall stats, but we're going to start pressing it for Velveeta. We're going to start adding the watch in, and I'm just waiting for the copy permissions on what we can say about that, because it's rolling out in June, and I'm just going to roll it out as if it's coming in June, because by the time we start marketing, June will be here like that. Okay, so I'm going to progressively jump that one ahead, but we're building it so we can market anything else we want to add into it. We're going to have kiosk offers that are going to be fun. And the thing about it is in the Grapevine system, I'm writing the postured emails for all of us to use. I can do that. I might give you guys the ability to change it, but it's kind of like I want to get a system for all that works. So I'm running it right now in my control freak way. And I got some really good copy I've been testing. And I'm getting really good responses. So we're going to roll that out there. I don't have it for the watch yet because I got to wait for some approvals. I like asking forgiveness sometimes, but when we're putting in a system that big, I want to have permission first as much as possible. And So I'm going to get all that done. Permission through Jim to them. Like I'm going to have it legally set up that they're okay with us representing it in a certain way. But then we're going to roll that out there. And you guys, that's going to be a very powerful tool for us to use. But the V marketing right now, you guys, we tell them to put them all in Trello. And you should be adding them to your Grapevine system once they're a positive thing, whether you get a hold of them or not. If you get a hold of them and they sign up in things, great, don't put them in. They don't sign up, put them in, period. That's what it's designed to do. We've already opened up the door. We made them aware of who we are, right? Now we're going to put them in that system to drip on them. You guys, I have people that still sign up in Valentis under me. I received an extra couple $100 in commissions last week from people signing up and buying products there. You know why that came in? It came in from the Grapevine system because I wasn't marketing it anymore. I know it works, right? And I'm like, well, that's great. And I hope they like those products and continue to buy, but I need to get this swapped out. We need to focus on our main anchors, and that's what we're going to. You guys, this new path with that, that's all part of posture. It's a written posture, right? With videos and everything else to do that. We're all going to share in that. But the individual things that we're reaching out to on these leads, the way we're representing things, that posture is something you're all just going to get better with time. The more you do, the better you get. So for you new instructors, and you start working the SDs and you're doing your BRT calls and you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you're learning by, you're going to fail forward. And that's why this is why it's so important for us doing the RRR247 calls training every week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. is so we can help you build posture. That's the whole purpose. So you can hear other people and watching somebody else do it, you're going to hear how they say things. You guys, if you guys are listening to Dina on there, you're hearing trained posture that's several levels deep. Niall and I built stuff together. Niall's helped me with posture. I've helped him with posture over the years, and Niall's passing that on to Dina. And when I hear Dina talk, I'm going, that so sounds like Niall. It's awesome. That's what you want to hear. When you guys hear somebody, if you guys ever get to hear, I teach a lot of people, right? But if you heard Deanna do a presentation, she sounds word for word like me because she just was a great student. She uses my word usage. It's okay to borrow people's word usage, right? It's okay. And if you don't like the way something sounds or it doesn't come off your tongue right, modify it for you. That's great. But don't modify until you've tried it, right? Leadership is leading what works. And if your leader isn't successful, you shouldn't be being followed by that leader, right? And that's why we do this in a group and control all this. Some of our MSIs are getting perfected and better all the time. That's why we do it. And that's why we do this in a group and move things around, and we let you listen to different ones, because sometimes, Niall's style is a little bit different than mine. We come from the same trainers. We come from the same mentorships a lot, but he has a different tweaks that he uses versus me, and it works. They both work. But sometimes that might be a better angle for you, for your personality, than mine, and vice versa. And that's okay, guys. That's why we want you to listen to different trainers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you get a variety of what works. Remember, the English language has way too many ways to say the same thing. Like, so crazy. And some of us utilize that to a really good advantage. I'll put something out there about it. Like, I know how to use the English language to purposely say what you want me to say in a way that's going to confuse you so that I can, avoid a topic that I don't want to go into. Some people are really good at this. There's manipulations that can happen with the English language because you understand it. If you hear somebody manipulating, they understand posture and word usage, and that's a powerful thing to have. You guys, communication is a very amazing tool. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. I've seen people that understand tonology very well that have done not so good of things with it. And the more you understand something, you're given a weapon that can better lives or worsen lives. Choose wisely. We will pay for it later. Karma is real, right? And the thing is I try to find a way to communicate better and better all the time. And I also say the same thing 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, like a broken record, but different angles every time. And I'm starting to see some of you picking up on that and doing the same thing. And because you're realizing it works. You say something, if they don't get it, say it a different way. It doesn't hurt. When I'm doing the BRT and I ask questions and I don't feel like I'm getting quite I'll ask it a different way. I already asked it this way once. I'm asking it a different way. I just didn't get the answer that I didn't get everything I wanted, so I'm going to try it a different way. We all have learned how to do this in some aspect. The more we interact with people, we've had to do this, right? Okay, I asked you a question to clean your room. Somehow that didn't get across. So how about this? You want to go see Jake this weekend. If your room's not clean, you're not seeing Jake. Does that work? You know, we all do things like that, right? We say it differently, or we put emphasis on it, right? You know, and getting people to open up about their dreams, their future, where they want to go. If you're not doing that in your points of conversation, you don't understand where they're why, what they want to get to. You know, I can get up every morning, but if I have a reason to get up, I'm really going to get up. If I don't have a reason, why should I get up? If I don't have a purpose to do something, why am I going to do it? No one just does it to do it. Nobody. Right? They got to have a purpose. That's why I bring up that example. Clean your room. Well, there's no purpose for me to. I'll just make a mess again. Well, if you don't clean your room, you can't do this, you can't go there. Now I got to clean my room because if I don't, I'm going to have to deal with that. Right? It's the same thing. So you guys, as parents, we've been doing it with our kids and we've been learning posture or we've been walked over it. Some of us have had all of it, right? But it's one of those things when you're working with the student, you've got to take a leadership role because you know more than they know. And if you don't reflect that, you're doing them a disservice because they want to learn. And even if you don't feel like you know everything 100%, you know more than they do. And then you have a team to back you up. You know what? We have students that outlearn our instructors all the time. That's a good thing because we got people to pick it up. Some people are going to outgrow you. That's a good thing. We win in this situation here. The best thing for any of you is to bring somebody on that gets this and runs with it faster than you did. That's a good thing. Enjoy it. You know, request it, manifest it. Let them run. We all win when that happens. Yes, we have students that have come in here and have surpassed their instructors in understanding and actual results. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, posture. There's a lot of ways I've learned it, and by doing it again is the best. But there's a fundamental thing that can help anybody, and it's kind of like I call it the cheater in establishing a communication and in utilizing posture, and it's the power of the pause. You guys have heard me say it before. The power of the pause. If you don't know what to ask, right, and you're on a BRT or anything in life, just pause for a second. A pause makes an uncomfortable feeling for most people. And they're going to think like, oh, I should be saying something, or I should have said something more. And they might volunteer some other information because of that pause. You don't know where to go. You're looking at your notes. You're like, I don't know what to ask this person next. Maybe pause. Don't force it. If when in doubt, pause. You guys, I even do this. I did this with my kids growing up. I still do it with them now. Sometimes you're so, and I'm going to refer kids back and forth because it's on my mind a lot. But when you're trying to like educate and progress and raise a child or a business partner, sometimes you don't know what angle to go with, and it's a frustration point. The best advice is to pause. Pause. I pause with my kids. You know what they think? Oh, I'm going to just go do it because dad's getting really mad. No, I just don't know what to say. I got so flustered because I'm like, I don't know what to say sometimes. I just pause and they just know, okay, I know I'm supposed to be doing it. Okay, I'll go get it. That pause scares them. Right? And the truth of it is I actually don't know how to discipline at this point. This is like when they were a teenager and they just did the opposite you did no matter what. They're testing the grounds. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pause. And I hold my guns. If I say X, Y, Z is going to happen, I'm not lying. No matter what it is, that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to bend on it. Then the next time they're like, oh, you know what? We don't want to have that because dad's going to put a brick wall up, right? And then, you know, sometimes other parents buckle, right? That's why I like being a grandfather. I don't have to put those rules up. I get to break down walls whenever I want. I have no rules. I like it way, way more like it. So this with our students here, right? We don't need to be grandparents. We need to be more parent. But when you don't know what to do to get them to understand it or see it, or maybe they're doing those broke questions, just pause. And then, and you're going to get better at it, right? And if they write down an objection or something that comes up, if you guys get objections, it's because you didn't follow the process right, is ideally it. Because what we've given you as a path is pretty much perfect marketing, where there is no objections they should have. You should answer any one of their questions and concerns. But when they do come up, write them down. It's really important, because you can say, hey, I talked to June, and June asked me, XYZ, and you're going to say, well, that should have been covered in the way you presented. We know where you fell short, so we can perfect it. We can progress with you on it. So it's okay to write it down. Write down the objections, right? Niall and I were doing a big training with one of our VIP finders, as I call them. And they told me what they had wrong, and I knew right away that they had cheapened or shortened our process. It was easy to tell, all of them. And I was dead right. I called them right on it. And there was like, how did you know? I'm like, well, because if you would have done it our way, you wouldn't have had that, right? You guys, this is a lot of years in the making with progressive OCD perfectionists, right? Trying to get a system down that anybody can do and follow and learn to. And if you're not progressing with it, that's okay. Let's find out why you're not. And it's going to come down to posture. That's why this is such a thing I wanted to talk about anyway. And, I've been working on this with Sean. I work on it with everybody I instruct, everybody that's my direct student. I work on posture at some point, because it's something every one of us needs. If you don't know what you don't know. Not every one of us was taught posture without realizing it, right? Discipline is posture learning, right? So those of us that got disciplined a lot probably learned it more. Those of us that, fell in line with it, knew what we needed to do to get things accomplished, we learned it as well, because we knew what the outcome was. We knew, hey, I'm going to get ahead of the posture game. If this is what they want and I give it to them, I'm going to get what I want. We were posturing on the stronger side. Most people react to it, not are proactive. My way growing up, you guys, I rarely got disciplined. We had set things, and if I did them, we had a family constitution, a rule book on how to be good kids for my parents. Someone gave them the advice to do it. I honestly, you guys, if of the few things I think my parents did right raising me, the family constitution is the best, because I knew what my boundaries were. And if I did what I needed to do, they couldn't tell me no. They couldn't. So you know what I did? I did what I needed to do. They never told me no. I could stay out as late as I wanted, as long as the rules were followed. My grades were up. I wasn't doing, erroneous things. I followed the whereabouts article. I had a cell phone and pagers. No one else did. I had the easiest way for my parents to know where I was, right? And today, kids, a simple text, quick phone call, checking in. And if I ever left a place to go to another place, I had to tell her, right? I had to call my mom, let her know I'm now at John's house. I left Matt's house. I'm at John's house. We're going to be here for a little while. We're going to go back to Matt's house. I'll let you know when I'm there. She knew where I was at all times, and I could be gone the entire day because of that. For instance, right? So you learn how to comply. Well, we're trying to teach everybody, if you post ads at a certain time, you're posting ads, you're writing content. We're giving them rules to abide by so they can win, right? So that we don't have to go and discipline and say, well, if you were doing this and doing this, we could regress you further. Everything is written in that structure, right? And I took a lot from, we always our environments and go forward, right? But the success environments, people that have a routine, that are time blocking, that are structured for winning, win. Those that don't plan to fail, right? And when you're doing your posture, it's a structured organization of how I'm going to communicate. So it's okay to have it methodically written down and what your objections are, and learn what you want to say. And you guys, I cover the same points in my conversation with everybody. Not exactly in that order, but I have the same things I like to go to, because I want to get to know them based on certain points. So I got a formula down, but that formula is released based on their answers. I listen to them, and I'm going to spend time on their cares and where they want to go. And if they don't give me any, then I go to my card deck. Basically, it's mental, but I go right to those questions. I gave those to you in that sheet that I just shared with you guys in the BRT training under our ad posting place in our common docs area that we're growing. You guys, posture helps with everything, right? When you're communicating, and I'm just gonna put this out there and as a general way to help. If you're a good marketer, it usually means you're a good communicator. Most of us aren't good communicators. We didn't have anybody to teach us this, so we don't communicate things properly. And the lack of communication is the #1 reason for disputes in relationships. Okay, it's the #1 area, communication. Communication and finances, right? It's easier to teach people how to make money than to communicate, by the way. Communication is key, and that's what we're really focused on with our instructors, and that's all part of the posture. So I'm going to tell you guys, everything we're trying to teach you here on presenting properly, it has other upsides in other areas of your life, and it should. Learn to communicate. Learn the power of pause. Learn to listen to somebody. You guys know when we're talking to a new student and we listen to them, you guys ever hear the excitement and the almost surprise in their voice responses that you're actually listening? Nobody listens to anybody anymore. Like I generally, the more I'm intent, you guys know I'm intense. I'm intent. Imagine me talking to any new student, right? I'm listening to them, understanding and replying in ways that they haven't had for who knows how long. It's just genuinely caring about them. And in the same way that I would want done to me, when I speak to somebody, I expect them to listen to me, or else why am I speaking? I'm not trying just to hear myself talk with you guys. I want to make you guys better presenters, better communicators, and sense better human beings for everybody else. It can impact the world just by if we all listened. Communication is very important. You guys, relationships that last a long time, if you ever watch them, they have a communication style. A lot of it is nonverbal. The longer a couple's been together, I bet you if I sat down with Stacy and David, they have inside jokes and things that go on without them talking all the time. I'm not wrong, I know it. And I haven't hung out with you guys too much, a little bit, but the little time that I did, I was like, they communicate very well. And it's more than words thing, right? And this is that type of communication that you can have with your people. And Stacy, you're a good communicator. You're a good communicator with every one of your students, and it shows because you adapted those skills somewhere along the line. And in this environment, that gets to shine, which is why you're shining more and more. You're in your element. I love it.
From you. I've learned from you and Niall and Linda, and just, do it.
But we get to pay that. That's right. We're paying all this education forward. But Stacey, I watched you grow a ton. You're glowing in it. Like, obviously, it's good for you too.
Yes.
Energy levels are higher. You guys, when we get to solve people's problems, we win. It's all down to communication. And that's what marketing is. Marketing is communication. It's communicating the benefits of a product or service, and also in a way that covers any objection or question they can have, right? That's what we're doing in that BRT process along the way. We're asking questions that it's really a marketing driven path. So we have a friend of posture, and it's a written friend. It's my book. Guys, that book is posture, and that was designed to help our students understand what we do better. Give them the basis to understand what it is to be an entrepreneur. Guys, that was written over years of understanding how to do it, but it took me years to write it for a reason. I knew what the purpose of it was going to be, and I had to make it happen, and I had to go through the word usage and everything else. That's why I'm telling you guys the following needs to happen. You're doing a BRT. If they read my book, fantastic. Right? So if you set an appointment with somebody, give them homework before you talk to them, before you even do a BRT. And tell them, I want you to read Rory's book before we talk and get to know what this is. It'll give you some really good understanding. These are things you wouldn't learn in school. That book is a user manual. It's going to give you some really good understanding of the word usage we use, and also the different aspects of marketing, why this works online. Okay? Give them the homework. If they read that before you do a BRT, it's going to help you. It'll make you stronger already. Okay? That's a credibility piece that's based on truth. And if anybody reads it, and I think everybody here has, it's all truth. Truth doesn't change. And the thing about it is it's all based on things, it's all stuff that we use here. So use that. Now, if you've done the BRT and they bought the PBS, and they haven't read the book yet, make sure they read the book before you do session 1. If you do session 1, or we call it the start of the flow, right? If you do session 1, well, the flow starts with BRT. If you do session 1 without them reading the book, you better be really good, because you're giving up one of the best tools to help you do it. It's worth waiting an extra day or two to have them read the book before you do session 1 even. Rebook them. Make that their first homework assignment. It's 181 pages. There's an audio too. If they're serious about getting this going, they've already got the PBS, they're in. It's going to take a couple days for it to get set up. Always lead with that. Buy Matt some time, especially now when he's doing all these servers. He's making great progress, by the way. But you want to have them read that book. If they read that book and then you go into things, first of all, they're going to want to know what the wine tastes like already. So when you bring up wine, it's not going to be a shocker. And they're going to be like, you know, I read Rory's book and I never had wine before, but I want to drink wine. I built it all in there in case you guys haven't noticed that. Second, they're learning about cross-marketing and circular marketing. They're already going to have a precursor of education before they go into session 2 training, and they go through episode 8. Everything is lined out to make this stronger. That's why I wrote that book, is so I could take my teachings and put it in a format that everybody could get on the same page with, pun intended. So use that book. It'll make your job easier too. It does a lot of heavy lifting. You guys, we learned this process because we made the VIPs do it before we talked to them, because the VIPs come in and we have VIPs here. You guys, the VIP process proved that we need to put everybody through that from the beginning. Even though our standard students are just paying for the hosting and getting set up, we know we got to teach them a lot more. They usually don't have the same business minds, and that's fine. That's what we're here to teach. Have them read the book. You guys know that a lot of the students that I brought in lately, when I asked them to read the book, you know, a lot of them don't read books regularly. That's a common thing. Can I tell you, my very wealthy friends that I've had for several years now, we all have something in common. When I hang out with James on the boat and we're going through stuff, he and I both exchanged 6 to 10 different books that we've read since our last meeting that we thought were good. I don't know anyone successful that's not a reader of information all the time and keeping up with it. I read white papers, technical documents, like all day long. It's just part, I just do it. Usually it's 3, 4 in the morning. Sometimes it's a scheduled time. Like I have set time I read. You know, I do my late night projects, and when I get done at a certain time and I go read and catch up on what I'm going to write on, or I study things. It's something I'm always doing, right? But I also read, and I've been trying to find more time to read for pleasure. However, if I read an industry book, something about marketing, to me, that is pleasureful. I get a lot of pleasure out of reading others' ideas on it, right? So that's why pleasure reading, and you know, guys, I love what I do. I've been doing work that I love for so long, and I think everybody should. If somebody wakes up and they hate what they're doing, they should get out of it. There's way more things in this world to do. Don't do something you hate, right? That's just not fun. So we get to enjoy things in what we're doing here. And that gives me another posture item too, because I know the person I'm talking to, odds are they don't like their job. And the ones that do don't make enough money. So that's the angle to go on and play with it. But the thing is if they like their job and they don't make enough money, and they're patient to build it because they know it's going to take longer. You know, I set expectations better. And that's another thing, part of posture is under promising and over delivery makes you a stronger person in posture too. And it doesn't just help today, but it helps in the future when we work with that student. And when we get them set up and we get them going, when they get to session 2 and see the IBO program, they hear about more, we're giving them more stuff that this makes this look better and better and better as a thing. And that's why it's laid out that way. So, I'll put this on there really quick too. If you guys don't have the ebook available to send as a attachment to an email, when you're prospecting, you should be sending my ebook out a ton. Because we have people that have read it 6 months ago, a year ago. It's been out for over a year now. We have people that have been reading it 6 months, a year, that when we first, because it's been deployed heavy. I was putting the ebook out November of 2020. Ebook was being delivered to the leads. It's being delivered to leads every day, but we don't know if they download it, so we just got to assume they don't have it. So send it out. But if you guys don't have a copy of Marketing is Freedom as the ebook to send out, get it from your MSIs or get it from anywhere else. I mean, I wonder if I can attach it here. I might be able to. Um, oh, I don't have it there. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can drag it from another place. I have it on every one of my computers downloaded so I can send it because I work from all my computers, right? I got 5. So it's on my desktops, it's on my laptops, and I have a version of it in my that I sent in my email so that I can forward that from a sent item to anybody from my phone. Because I'm constantly talking to students, right? And I just give, you guys have my permission to give it out at mass, right? Just hand that out like crazy, because if they read it, it makes your job easier, right? And if they say, and even if they don't have it, send it. If even if they say they have it, I send it to them again anyway. So I'm going to make sure you have it for sure. It's right here. I want you to read it. It's a PDF, right? Let me see if I can attach it here. Okay, I think I got a way to do it, so just bear with me. Where's my Dropbox? Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna literally put it. I know where I'm gonna put it. Hold on. It's a big file, so that's why I didn't want to put it in Dropbox in the shared file. But here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get it to the MSIs right now. Just to make sure everybody has it, I put that in the MSI chat. You guys can download it. It's a PDF, and then just you're gonna have to forward it by email to all your instructors. Anybody working the SDs, the 101s, even the V marketing leads, you guys use that book. You have my permission. Send the PDF out, right? You can still send the verbiage where they can go download it on their own. Some people want to go look at the website and get more, validity, and that's great, right? That's what we do. So, and you can always download it and then forward it out again too for Marketing is Freedom with the password freedom, and give that out, you guys. This will help share with the world what we do and why it works, and help build our teams. Okay, and so that is a posture tool. So now that you understand that, to build better posture, while you're getting better at posture yourself, use the tools around you to be the best version of you at that time, right? You're presenting the best version of you at that time to a student, and you're going to be growing and getting better as you grow. Keep that in mind. It's going to get better and better and better as we go. Okay. Renee, I'm going to do some Q&As. I'm going to do the 3 that are up here because you've been waiting so patiently, and then we're going to close off because I've gone over the hour. And you guys, we can talk about posture a ton. I'm going to put this out there. Bust your butts, learn how to do it. Get to the events, and we can spend more time on it. I'll spend time on posture in April. I'm gonna stop the recording. I'll talk about that a little bit. So Renee, what's your question? You can unmute.
Okay, just a fast question, please. I have missed just a couple of the training sessions for your student training for us.
Okay.
Can I get them? And where
they should be on YouTube. They should be on YouTube, Renee.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, they should be. I've been trying to put them on YouTube. You know, we have a lot of people that work nights, and then globally, we have people that are in other countries.
Yeah.
And when we're doing our live training, they should be sleeping. It's like 3 a.m.
Right.
So that's why that's there. So we'll get them there. The answer is absolutely there. And then if there's a topic that you're not seeing, just pass it up to your MSIs because you know we can address it on the Thursdays or the Saturday trainings. You know, you guys know that we've built everything. Everything we have is amazing. We just gotta grow now. We gotta add students to go. The foundation, the infrastructure to have a successful, thriving, big organization, we've already built it. Thank your MSIs. They've been part of this build. You guys, the strongest part of what we do is the people. It's us. It's you. We have enough of us to really build something momentous, and we're doing it. All right, Jane.
Wait,
Oh, wait. Okay.
wait, please.
Yeah,
You
Renee.
used to send out an email that I would always find in spam with our weekly schedule. Do we get that now on Skype from the MSIs?
We send it out through Skype, and I still email it out. If you're not getting the email, make sure you add yourself back to it. It's an opt-in system,
Okay.
and sometimes they clean things out. I don't know why. Like if it bounces, they take them out. Email is really hard to rely on.
Okay, thank you.
But Renee, if you're not getting my emails, I have one going out Monday. If you don't get it Monday, make sure you re-add yourself to the list.
Gotcha.
Go through episode 8 like your students do. The first thing you do is get on my email list. Or the second thing. I think it's the second thing.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Hi, Rory.
Hey, Jane.
I love your presentation. Thank you so much because being an athletic coach for like 18, 20 years, I really learned a lot of how the language of body language. And so now I'm into something totally different.
Yes.
And I also was in the hospitality business. Never did anything electronic to where communicating, like with our Zoom, we are communicating now, but a lot of times, and for me, I'm trying to teach me how to put my expertise from the body language into the language, you know what I'm saying, into word language, because I feel that I want to excel because I was
Awesome,
excellent
Jane.
at what I do, and it was my passion. And now that I have an opportunity to do this is my new passion, and I want to do it well. So that's about all I got to say.
Jane, that's awesome. So I'll throw a little comments on that. Body language is something we learn from birth forward, right? Like we're around watching that. And body language, pretty much everybody understands that because we've been around it enough, right? You have to live in seclusion not to understand it, right? Someone tenses up, we're jovial, we're laughing. Toneology is the understanding and use of tones to know where somebody's thinking or feeling outside of word usage. And Jane, I will gladly help teach it to you. I've been a student of it for decades, and that's going to help you to hone in the craft of this, because word usage is important. And you're going to be learning what words work best because we put things into scripts and we're all beating to the same drum because we figure it out. But tonology is where you're going to get that same type of a passion from understanding body language. It's tonology. Tonology is what's going to set all of us apart in a communication skill. And it's really hard to teach, but you can do it face to face. You need body language to teach it because here's why. Body language, we all understand. So if I can get into an energy zone with somebody and start teaching tonology, your understanding of body language is going to help you learn and adapt to how that tonology works. Okay, it feeds off of it. Tonology is really hard to teach to somebody that doesn't have an understanding of body language, and tonology is above word usage. Like I can use the right tones with the wrong words and still win. So we'll cover that, Jane. Just get to the leaderships because it's really hard. It's really hard to teach. I can teach the philosophy of it, but I can't teach it and have it learned in my experience other than being in the same energy zone with somebody, like within 3 feet. And I did an exercise with people in Destin for the first time, and I think it went very well. And that's what I'll be doing that in Waikiki, but it's got to be in person. I might try it well, we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so we had one more. Where'd they go? Oh, we had a new question from somebody, okay, I'll close this off for now then. I'll count 5, 4, okay. God bless everyone. We'll see you guys in the next training.